The Vampire Diaries Season 8, Episode 7, The Next Time I Hurt Somebody, It Could Be You. Now, this was the mid-season finale for the final season of The Vampire Diaries, and I think it was a good one. I actually thought it was a pretty good season finale, or a mid-season finale, I should say, and I love the way they played it. I mean, they still have all the characters. I had, like, a couple of my guesses actually somewhat came about, at least in this episode, like Sabine and, or Sabine, Celine and Sybil actually like kind of having their spout and stuff, and Sybil being like, "Hey, I kind of outed you, and you're effed." Pretty much was kind of how she did it. Like, "Hey, that's how it went." And then as things went along in this episode, Celine kind of says like, "I want to do this for the girls. I want to help them so that they aren't psychically linked to me." We also get a bit of a hint that Bonnie might also be getting her powers back when they go in to try to stop Sybil, which I thought was really awesome because she was affected by it. Just in general, it's like, does that mean her powers are coming back? I hope that's what that means because it's been the whole season and she hasn't had her abilities. She's just had spells. So I'm hoping that that's what that means. The fact that it still has an effect on her, it means that her magic is still within her, somewhere deep down. And I love the connection they made because I hadn't thought about this, but she mentioned like they say that magic comes from a place where deep down is kind of like a psychic ability. And she was like, before I realized I was a witch, I just thought I was psychic. And I was like, oh crap, I forgot that that was a thing. Like she would kind of have visions and stuff before she had abilities. And I was like, oh yeah, I forgot that that's how that started out because she just thought she was psychic. And so that was just a little bit of dialogue, but I was like, man, that was a pretty cool callback because I completely forgot that that was kind of her initial beginnings. That's what she thought she was. Like she thought she was psychic, and it's like, no, you're like it's beyond psychic. You got like all sorts of abilities and things you could do. And it's like that was a cool little callback. So I really loved that. Um, they go through, and of course we have the deal that is now made between Cade, Damon, Stefan, and Sybil. And so they have this final day. It's the final day for everyone to kind of celebrate and for Damon to really be free before he has to go in and kind of serve for all eternity with his brother to kill off a bunch of innocent people. And I love the way it played out because it starts off really cool. Of course, Alaric is, he goes to the house and it's like, yeah, we might have to leave really soon. And then, of course, Damon comes right in. And I love the way they did it because he's like, I killed you. And then that's kind of how it gets revealed to everyone else. So I love the way that played out. Damon actually kills Stefan so that Stefan can go talk with Cade because Cade is like, hey, I want to take you on a little bit of a journey that you might not remember so well. And so we actually find out that Celine actually knew who Damon was from the past, or who Stefan was in the past, and I thought that was pretty interesting. And she actually wiped his memory to help him because she's like, he was a bad person on the outside, but on the inside, I could tell that he was like an innocent person who was just kind of screwed up at this point. And that's as Cade says, he was like, that's when I lost her, but it gave me you pretty much. It allowed me to have interest in you, and I got to see what you could do from that point. And he's like, this is who I want to really help me. And for whatever reason, which I thought was weird, because I'm like, it didn't make a lot of sense to me, but I'm assuming we're going to get some more explanation because Cade, personally speaking, Cade made a real stupid deal where Stefan's like, hey, I'll turn off my humanity and just kill a bunch of people for a year and then we're out. And I'm like, they're two vampires who are like hundreds of years old at this point. Why in the world would he need why would he make the deal to be like, oh, you're going to kill more people in a short span of time when he has all eternity? And sure, Stefan would probably fight him, but in all honesty, they'd be serving him, so it wouldn't make a difference if he fought him. Over time, they'd still get it. Plus, Damon wouldn't be doing that. Like, his humanity's been off for a super long time. Although, it's hard to tell where it's at right now because of the Caroline and her genius idea to give him Elena's necklace. And it triggered something, but it still seemed like after that moment that his humanity was still off. So it's really hard to tell what they're going to be doing with him. But he goes after Sybil, like he's putting the necklace on her, and then something clicks, and he's just like, boom. And I thought she was dead, and once again, I was upset by the promos. But it seems that when we come back to the season, she's still going to be alive. So I was like, well, that spoiled that, because I definitely thought when he ripped her freaking heart out that she was going to die. But once again, it's like, oh, well, if you listen to the dialogue when she's kind of gloating and stuff, she does mention that she will have not only her abilities but her immortality as well. So in the moment, every time somebody dies, it's like, holy crap, they just killed somebody. But I keep kind of forgetting in the moment. But it was still kind of like, I wish they just left it there, for people that did miss it. But it's like, nope, she's totally fine. Here she is in the promo. And I'm like, I kind of wish it was more than just, poof, she came back. And also, we hadn't seen anyone, like, who's immortal, like, get their heart ripped out. So it still kind of makes me wonder, like, did she grow a brand new heart? Or how's that going to play out? But I'm sure we won't actually get to see it. It'll just be like, poof, she's alive again, and she'll be doing whatever. Who knows if she'll be mad at Damon or whatever, but he's, of course, like I said, he's somewhat snapped out of it. I'm assuming his humanity is off, but she's been taken out of his subconscious now. Like, she was kind of embedded in there. Which he even points out, like, I was in danger from the tuning fork, and he came in and rescued her and, took her out of there. And that's, how we get to the necklace scene. But I think that was the main thing that broke. Because it seemed like I said, the fact that he even killed her, because it would be like, if he didn't have his humanity, I would assume he'd have no reason to kill her, because he'd be like, whatever, I don't care. But he still killed her, so it's kind of hard to say. Like, they kind of blur the line sometimes, too, because sometimes, even without their humanity, they can still be mad. So it could have been that part of it where he's pissed off that she invaded his space, and so that's why he did it, but he doesn't necessarily care enough to, it doesn't affect him so much emotionally that it flips his switch. So I am curious where they're headed with that. How much of a villain she's going to be to both Stefan and Damon at this point. What Damon's going to do when she shows up again. Like, is he just going to snap every single time until eventually that does lead to his humanity switch being turned back on? Like, him actually being so angry is what's going to trigger it. Because I don't think they may have done that. The show's been on for such a long time, but I feel like they've never done that before where it's been anger based. I feel like maybe there's a hint of that, like, one time, but I feel like they've never actually done that where it's been anger that finally, put someone back on the right path of, turning the humanity switch back on. So, not sure how that's going to play out, but of course we have Stefan and Damon. Naturally, everyone's going to have to try to figure out how in the world do we save them. It does appear that Celine may or may not actually help them out. She could be a part of the team a little bit, of course, with reservations, but I am excited to see where they go for the second half of this season. It's the last one. It's the last season for this very long series. I believe the originals comes back in kind of around the same time when the show starts up again, so I'm excited for the originals. But I'm excited to see what they do. I'm liking where it's at right now. Things are kind of nuts. I don't know exactly what they're gonna do with, like, Alaric, and Matt had a horrible, sad story in this where, of course, Damon goes in and it's like, I've come here to kill the worst person in the room, and he basically chooses Matt's dad because he's like, pretty much I left because my wife got pregnant, and I would have had to have taken a crappy job, and that was kind of it. So I didn't want to, and I left, and really no reason at all. He just didn't want to, and so I don't know where they're gonna go with Matt's storyline or anything like that, but I am curious what they're going to be doing with the characters for this final season. The last really big thing that I'm excited for is actually the golden orb thing, and that never came up. And then Simple's talking to somebody. I don't think it was Damon. I think she was talking to somebody else about it. I think it was Matt or Matt's dad or somebody. And she's like, where is it? And they're like, I don't know what you're talking about. So she's brought up whatever this random orb is going to be. We still don't know, but it's clearly something important, which, like I said initially, when it first came up, I was like, oh, this was her plan to bring in Cade, and then this was Celine's plan, and hers worked first, so Sybil won't need the orb anymore. But she brought it up. At least I'm assuming that that's what the random item was. So whatever it is, it's still something that she wants, and I'm very excited to see what that's going to be, because although if it wasn't important, they wouldn't have brought it up again. It would have just vanished. But I'm excited. I enjoyed this mid-season finale. It got pretty nuts, like just the revelations and just the way certain things played out. And, at the end of it is Stefan turning off his humanity. So we have Stefan and Damon both just going nuts. And I'm curious if they're going to do a time skip because of how it's going to play out. Like, is it going to be towards the end of their year and it's just chaos? Or is it just going to be like, it's a couple days later and now everyone's working together to try to figure out, what they're going to do? And also, of course, we have Alaric, who at this point is kind of in the Matt zone where it's like I kind of just want to get my girls out of here based on what he experienced. So there are a lot of different elements coming into play right now. So I'm very excited for what they're headed into for the second half of the final season of the Vampire Diaries. But definitely want to know what you guys thought about this mid-season finale. So please comment below. Let me know your favorite parts, your least favorite parts, and of course, I want to know how you guys think they're gonna save Stefan and Damon. I mean, that's kind of it. I think we know that that's at least the plan. Who knows how they're going to end it? If it's going to be crazy or kind of just a nice happy ending in some regard at least. So definitely want to know your theories on how things are going to play out. And of course, I want to know what you guys thought about the episode in general. So please comment below, let me know. And thanks for watching.